Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to begin over back issues number 5, variant 5, Blood and Venom, and the MVPs for chapter 1.1. Before we get in too far, I want to remind you to like, definitely subscribe so you catch all the content and you're reminded and you're informed of when and how to sign up for the subscriber giveaway that we're getting pretty close to. So we're going to go over the MVPs for 1.1. We'll show a few fights from each lane and we'll briefly talk about the one trouble fight that's towards the end of the lane that you want to make sure you are prepared for. That being said, let's get to the fights. So we'll start with the lane farthest to the left, the one I'm calling Path 1. Significant amount of armor on that, which you can use to your advantage if you have Venom the Duck. Also, there's a strike back on the node, so I do want to caution you to be very careful when you throw your specials, how many bars of power they have. You'll see that is shown pretty well here in this fight, but being very careful because with Venom we're going to want to be throwing our SB2s to put the toxic armor on, and you'll see the massive damage he does at the end. This lane's really not bad if you have Venom the Duck. He's an absolute MVP. I'm sure you've seen some of the videos going around, so we'll only show one of them, the Duck fight, just because I imagine you've already seen them. The one trouble fight at the end of this lane, in my opinion, was Havoc. You want to make sure you have an armor up counter for that. The only one I could think of was Venom. If you've thought of some others, please comment in the chat. Let's get that information out. Let's share it with each other. Let's share and save each other some resources. Now we'll just watch Venom here. We got an SB2. I'm still a little unsure on the evade. I know they have recently changed it, but I didn't want to mess with it. I figured why do that if I didn't need to. We're going to be building up to our SB2 here, and you'll see the massive damage and the huge finale. I had seen the videos, but this still caught me off guard. It's funny to see that happen to Kingpin. Alright, let's move on to lane 2. Lane 2 was probably my favorite lane, mainly because I got to use Spark again. I loved this guy. He was my go-to for Labyrinth of Legends. If without him, I don't think I would have ever finished it. And so it was just great to use him again. There wasn't really too much special about the beginning of the lane, and I'm just showing you these fights just so we can all remember what Spark can do. And if this is where you're at in the game, he is such an amazing option. I know he's fallen off a lot of the top tier lists and things like that, and it's understandable and it's warranted, but look how little health I have. And we're going to do this fight and another one. And it was an absolute blast. I mean, I really felt like I was a Spider-Man bouncing around out there doing incredible damage. This lane, the nodes are an increased power rate and then the enhanced special one. So they're more likely to throw it, and it's unblockable, which is another reason why Spark was nice. I didn't even want to mess with the specials. I let him do his thing for me. So the real trouble fight at the end of this lane, and how I even ended up in this scenario to begin with, is there is a mojo. And I suggest you definitely want to bring in someone for that mojo. I know a lot of people have done great with magic. I chose to bring in a Dr. Doom. It worked fantastic. There was quite a few distractions at my house, and I ended up dying at the pretty close to the end, and Spark came in and finished mojo off for me. But without that, there's a chance I would have had to restart the lane because I didn't really want to use items in this. And that mojo can be a real beast. So when you head in for this lane, the lane 2, the one in the middle, I think if you have a Spark, you're going to be just fine. And bring in someone from mojo, preferably Magic or Dr. Doom in my opinion. But there's probably also some other options out there that people have used that have gone really well. If you know of one or you have one, again, just like for the Havoc fight on lane 1, let us know. Put it in the comment section. We'll get that information out there. We're a community. Let's share. So that just felt great to do that fight with Spark, to bounce around. The fact that it was Mysterio made it feel even better. But I mean, just look how little health he has, and with his ability to evade, and I don't know. I think there's something about him. When I'm using him, I am able to intercept better, and I'm just a better player. So now we're into this Magneto fight. I've only started with 8% health. I'm a little frustrated because, like I said, there was some distractions going on. But hey, it's family. And so, but I was like, I think we can do this if I play perfectly. I know we'll be magnetized, so that is what it is. But this isn't the buffed up Magneto yet, so let's give it a try. Let's see what Spark can do. Back in the day, we could have handled this, right? So going in there, we're building up our poise charges, trying to set up a big SB2. So we're at 10 now. The parry stun worked just fine. And if you have a newer progressing account and you get a Spark and you look on the tier list and you don't see him at the tippy top of it, like I can't encourage you enough. Don't even worry about it. He's gonna help see you through so much content. And this is the latest variant to come out, and look at what we're doing here, right? So got a little risky. I think I got a little too excited about my Spark, but with that heavy, he saves me by the power drain, and the path is done. So let's move on to path 3. For me, this was definitely the hardest path in the chapter. It has Bane and debuff immunity. So for me, I wanted to make sure I timed the Bane. I think that was by far the most important thing I could do, was ensuring that it was on me for as little time as possible. Sorcerer Supreme was suggested to me by the friend of the channel, Strands. We know he's a big fan of hers and a great player, and I think he was right. And I got to say too that using her in competitive content like this really made her shine, and my opinion of her has grown immensely, and I already liked her. The thing that makes her so powerful is her ability to conform to the fight or to control the fight via her abilities. She has so much utility, and she's quite excellent on all of them. And this one in particular was her ability to regen the health off of that she takes from blocked hits when you throw your specials with the shield. We can do an in-depth review later. That's not what this is intended to be. But you're seeing we're throwing our specials when she has that shield icon, which is giving us the green healing icon, which means we are doing a slight heal, but also when we take damage from a blocked hit, we're healing it back up. Try to pay attention to that. You see the blocked hits we're taking so that we can try to time Bane by either forcing Jugs to throw his specials or taking the blocked hits and forcing him to throw his heavy, giving us an opportunity to come in. As you see there, we also intercepted with specials a few times. And I do think there was a couple interactions where we see the nullification aura from her throwing her SP1 work quite quickly in getting either his unstoppable buff off or the small fury that he gets. The really important fight on this lane, I think, is this one, to be honest. And then there's one later on with the Man-Thing. I made sure I brought in a poison immune champion, so I just didn't have to worry about that part of his kit. I brought in Clairvoyant, put her in her poison phase, and just left her there. The fight did take a little bit longer, but again, I'd rather take a little bit longer on the fight and end it with not having to use items than try to go faster and waste items that way. And so you'll see this fight, I think, also fits that mantra a bit, but Sorcerer can do some good damage when you want to. I'm still a bit new with her, so I really wanted to make sure I had the heal on block going to regenerate on block, and I paid most of my attention to the Bane transfer. As you see there, we just intercepted with a special, and when you throw the SP1, it does nullify. So she was a fantastic option for this fight, and I appreciate the suggestion. And I gotta say, she really impressed me. Next, we're gonna get to the boss fight. The thing that makes the boss fight kind of difficult is that mighty charge, right? So you have to fight that desire, that instinct to intercept. And then there's a significant amount of armor on it. You could go in and use Venom the Duck. He's going to be fantastic. Again, I'm sure you've seen that video though, or those videos. Get the toxic armor up and go to town. I wanted to show you this because Sorcerer can work, and you see what we started the fight at 74% health, and we are going to speed it up because it is a lengthy fight, but I want you to see where we end the fight up at. I was having a lot of fun. Sorcerer, I'm digging her. We might end up doing a more thorough review of her later, because wow, I was impressed. She's better than I thought. Anyway, so I really wanted to take a look at her regeneration on blocked hits, and I was having a good time with that. And so as a result, the fight took a little bit longer. But watch the health that I end up with. Look at that health bar just fly back up. So here, like I said, we're going to speed it up. You can see this process going over, but look at our health bar. It's bouncing around, but we're already back up to 81%. And at some point, I just started screwing around and taking blocked hits and trying to stack that regen on health and seeing what I could get it up to. I mean, we're up to 85% here, for goodness sake. So it was a good time. Clearly, I'm impressed by her. These were my MVPs. This is who I had, who I felt worked well, and who worked out excellently for me. I'm very curious to hear who your MVPs were, how you found these fights, or who you're suggesting or even thinking about taking it, if maybe you haven't gotten to it yet. I do hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you either learned something, found it entertaining, or hopefully both. I hope you have a great day, and don't forget to subscribe. Take care.